Alright, so today, as promised, I got Honda car content coming for you. I've got a radiator we're going to be putting in, billet motor mounts, be redoing, putting the intake back on. But before we do the intake, we're going to do a fuel line tuck. I also have oil catch can, and I have a billet style aluminum overflow tank for my radiator. Now we're going to get as much of this stuff installed as I can today. So it's going to be a couple little different videos for you. So just stay tuned and like, comment, subscribe. Alright, so today, first thing we're going to do, we're going to remove the radiator. So, pretty sure you know how to do it. It's not hard. You'll disconnect your hoses, top, and your bottom hose here. Then you'll remove this bolt right here. And then pull it out, disconnect your fan, however you have to do that. Mine's hardwired, so it'll be a little bit different. So I'm going to do that now and be back with you in just a second. now that's the radiator installed. Looks a lot better than it did. Now, of course, I know I need to put my fan on, but I'm gonna have to go to AutoZone and get them slimline fan zip tie type things to hold the fans on. And I need to mount my overflow tank, which I'm kind of thinking I may put right in there on that frame rail. So that's it on this. Got more to come. So what I did for mounting the overflow tank, all I did was remove the factory ground line right there and just screwed it in there, just to see how much clearance and what kind of room we're gonna have. Alright, that's it on that. Alright, next step that I'm fixing to do, take these new motor mounts. I'm gonna mount them. What you wanna do is you're gonna want to support your engine with a jack. Put a block of wood under the oil pan so you don't dent your pan. For this side here, even though high sport's upside down, it'll mount just like this. So you'll take these bolts out of the bracket, that bolt, this one here, and then there's one down there. Pull all those out, slide this into the bracket. It'll work good with some WD-40 to help lubricate it. Slide it in, then you just bolt it back into this spot, that spot, and all the way back around. I'm going to do that side, and then I'll show you when it's done. Alright, here's the new mount. If I can hang on to it. It goes in just like this. I showed you upside down a minute ago. And here's the old, dirty, crusty mount. Alright, now I'm going to put the new one in. I'll show you when it's done. That side's in and done. I'm going to move to the next side over there here in just a second. Now, hopefully I didn't just completely destroy my transmission. Bumped the jack, and when it did, it fell a little bit. And when it did, it knocked one of the damn sensors off the side of the fucking transmission. See that? Now hopefully that little panel right there can be replaced. If not, I'm gonna have to get a whole new transmission. So maybe going standard after all. So there's the new driver's side mount. This is the old hunk of metal. Alright, now the hardest one is gonna be that one right there. Alright, I'm gonna attempt to get that one out now. Alright guys, it's a new day. I'm about to put this back motor mount in. I'm gonna show you how to do it. There is a bolt right there. There's one back here on this side behind the charcoal canister. You really can't see it. And then there's one right down in the top of this. If you move these hoses straight down inside of there, you can remove them 3 bolts without even having to take the bracket off the transmission. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll show you when it's done. Alright, there's the old one. There's the new one going in. And I pulled it out through the top, and the transmission bracket is still attached. So it can be done from the top. Just pull the bolts out, you slide it back, and twist it, turn it, pull it out this way, and pull up. Fix put the other one in, I'll show you how it looks when it's done. So what I ended up having to do was I had to loosen up the motor mounts a little bit, especially on this side, so I get the engine to come up and I could twist it forward to get the new mount in. So it's in place, now all I gotta do is bolt it down and tighten everything back up. Which I should have done in the first place, was leave them loose so I got them all in. But, live and learn. Alright, all the motor mounts are in. Everything's tightened back up. The only thing I didn't get was the lower front driver and passenger side torque mounts. It's because the hardware they sent was not the correct hardware. The bolts were too big around, and the factory hardware does not fit. So the next little mod I'm gonna do will be my oil catch can. And I'm gonna mount it right here on the strut bar. And when I get it set up, I'll show you when it's done. Alright, I got my little oil catch can mounted. I've got it running from the PCV valve to the inlet side. I'm running from the inlet, I'm running into the intake manifold. And then I vented this. I'm just going to put a block off plug on the cold air intake. Now the next mod that I'm going to do involves, I'm going to cut this, delete all this, to put all this in. Now this is going to be a tuck fuel line with a fuel filter, and that's the adapter, which I'll get all that out. I'll let you see it better here in just 1 second. Alright, this right here is the adapter for the fuel rail. It'll take the original fuel line plug off, screw that one in. Of course, I've got the rubber grommets with it. There's that. This line right here, as you saw, was the actual hose. Now one end will connect to this, which is the fuel filter. Then the other side of the fuel filter will connect to this. This is the fitting that will go right in here where I cut it. And then I will connect the other end of the hose to that fitting right there on the intake manifold. So I'm going to get my intake manifold, get a couple nuts, put a jam nut on, and try to pull that bolt out. And I'll put that one in. And once we get all that connected and all everything wired back up, I can wire the other side, or not wire, but connect the hose from there to the intake for my oil catch can. Alright, show you when I'm done. Alright, I got the fuel line cut, all the hoses connected. Now I'm going to reset my intake manifold, connect this into the fuel rail, and then I can connect this to the intake. Show you when it's done. Alright, so got the intake manifold set, fuel line's connected, bunch of mess with all those rubber hoses and crap back there. Oil catch can's connected. Now one more mod that I did, it's not much, but that right there, the little clear valve cover, timing cover. So, I mean, it's not a bunch, but it's progress I've made on the car. Unfortunately, I do have to move the oil catch can because it sits right in the way of my cold air intake. I've got a fat tube cold air intake, so what I'll probably end up doing is dropping that down below the battery in one of the other factory 10mm holes that's down there somewhere. But so far, this is what we got. Appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe.